Hey, what's going on, Renegades? Daddy Louie here. It's Monday. We have a mini. What does that mean? Mini Monday. In case you can't tell, I'm super excited about painting this miniature today. I'm excited anytime I get to paint a miniature, especially when I get to paint a miniature with all of my friends. Welcome in all of my friends to uh, to our stream here and video if you are watching this later. Today we are painting Trini in dragon armor. Um, it's just, even if you don't know the character, even if you don't know the circumstance behind why the character is in the armor, even if you don't like Power Rangers, holy moly, that is a cool miniature. Like, honest to God's truth, if I didn't like Power Rangers, but I was in a store looking for a miniature to paint and I saw this on the shelf, I would buy this miniature to paint it. Just saying. Just saying. So we have primed the miniature all black. And if you follow me or have seen me paint before, you know that is not something that I normally do. I don't normally um, paint black, prime black, I should say. And that is because I like to prime in white and then work from light to dark. And in this case, I'm going to try something a little different, and I'm going to work from dark to light. But first, before we do that, we're going to do all of that to the armor. But before we do that, um, there's really, aside from the armor, there's just a couple other colors, and that's mostly in Trini's mask. And then this, we're going to call it a power core. It might have an official name, but this power core thing here is also colored. Everything else is pretty much armor. Just looking at reference pictures here. Yeah. I hope everybody's having a great Monday. Sorry, I had it pulled up and now there's not a ton of reference pictures because this is a relatively new thing. Trini with the battle armor. Um, there's a few comic stills. There's of course the art from the Renegade cards and stuff. Um, I'm trying to get a kind of a darker image. The character is also in the there's a game, a fighting game. Oh, this is the picture I had open earlier. Come on. Really? I can't click on the picture? What is happening? I'm going to trick it because I am going to... Oh, I was going to save it. It won't even let me save on my computer. All right, whatever. All right, so let's grab our yellows. Trini is, of course, the Yellow Ranger. We're going to start with Averland Sunset. I'm going to put that on our palette. We're going to start working on Trini's face. Her helmet, I should say. Let me check the chat here real quick. Why I can't see. Okay. I'm probably going to paint everything yellow first and then go in with the colors afterwards. Everland Sunset is good color to get started. I don't enjoy painting yellow, and it's going to be less fun painting yellow on all black. straight in here with quiet. I get quiet when I have to paint like very fine areas, and I'm really not wanting to get this yellow anywhere. Although it would be easy cover up with just covering it up with the black. But we're going to try and be neat with this. It's not easy. It is quite a bulky mini. This is the type of miniature I could see myself working hours and hours on, like perfecting it. Like, this is the type of mini that I would, you know, paint and then consider maybe entering into like some kind of painting contest. Because I just feel like this is the type of mini I would enjoy putting hours of work into. It's just that good. A++ Renegade, A++. Okay, we got that yellow on there. The horn is also yellow. My dogs are barking like crazy, and I have no idea why. I'm the only one home, so must be some disturbance outside, maybe. AKA, like, the neighbors are walking. My dogs will bark at literally anything. Alright, so we got our yellows on there. Let that dry a second. Yellow is, again, the type of color that is not very easy to paint with. This will be the hardest part of the whole miniature. So once we can get past this part, it's smooth sailing. We're going to be doing like a lot of layering and a lot of highlighting to bring some light and to bring some light to the dark, to the darkness of the black. Probably go up one more layer. We'll probably go up to like a Uriel yellow. That'll probably be the next thing that we do. I'm gonna pop out my chat window. Make sure I can see it on my screen. Welcome everybody on in. We are painting Trini in dragon armor for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. We're going to grab black. This will be for the visor. Hey Alvin, welcome in. Excited to be painting a new Heroes of the Grid mini. Me too. I feel like the last couple that I've painted were kind of from, not the latest and greatest set. So it's cool to have some new stuff. I made a boo-boo. I should not have jumped straight into the black. I don't think that I let that yellow properly dry. So I have a bit of a mess. So like in the event, it's tough, right? Because I'm obviously wanting to teach everybody what I'm doing. And I want you to follow along. But I also want you to take your time more than I am, because I do move a little faster than I probably would, if I wasn't streaming. I would slow down by a bunch to make sure that I was doing a good job. And I realized yesterday how low I am on lead belcher. Like I got like next to nothing in this pot anymore. I really need some more, so I'm gonna have to get some. I was at a game store yesterday. I should have bought it then. It's my fault for being so hyper focused on TCGs these days. It's like my brain and my eyes go straight to the TCGs when I go into the stores. So I always forget to grab what I need, which in this case is lead belcher. So apparently there's eyes as well that need to be yellow. Yep, I see them. I see them at the top. And then I guess there are some more red bits on the armor. And we could probably add more if we wanted to. Which I might, just to break up to break it up a bit, I just have to decide how much. Ooh, there's a cool alternate color scheme in that video game I was just saying. This is a weird website. Ooh, right there. Oh man. Yep, we're painting that. We're given this alternate. We just made a decision right now live. Yeah. So there is a there's a reference photo that I found. I wish I could share my screen, but I don't know how. It's not that I don't know how. I just don't have the like the scene and stuff set up for it. But essentially, this armor is meant to look like the Dragon Zord. I do wish that there were photos of what it looks like on the back. But I think I get the gist of it. Yep, we're doing that. So I'm going to grab all my grays. I'll tell you which ones I'm using as I'm using them. I'll try. This is just like literally all my grays. I think I have to go with, I'm trying to decide. Maybe I go Mechanicus Standard Gray, and I work down like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to try using this Mechanicus Standard Gray. Nice paint rack. Thanks. I can't even remember where I bought them a long time ago. And it came with like different sizes. I have like a hole. You can't really see it. Kind of, if you look on my screen at the top, this whole thing right here that I'm kind of pointing to, that's a painting rack by the same company. And I try and keep it like the colors organized as best I can. Admittedly, I don't do a very, very good job, but I do try. This might turn into a passion project. This looks really cool. So from the leg armor, it looks like here. Because that's going to be, the whole panel is going to be green. Yeah, the whole panel is going to be green, and then in there is going to be gold. So from here, I almost primed this mini in Mechanicus Standard Gray, and then I changed my mind. And now I'm questioning why I changed my mind. And the kneecap. Is that whole thing gonna be green? No. Just, yes, the whole thing is green. Although it doesn't matter, like I can get the gray on the parts that, Man, I'm so excited. I'm like super excited. I'm trying to like just one step at a time, Louie. One step at a time. One step at a time. Let me zoom in a little bit. Nope, this way. Still in the market for a new camera. If anybody has any suggestions, I've been trying to do research, but it's not going very well. The only problem with this idea that I've now had is that this step that I'm doing right now, the putting a base coat on the legs and the other bits that are going to be gray. Because before, I didn't have to base coat. My other plan, I wasn't going to base coat anything. And as you can see, that idea has failed. Not as planned, folks, but that's okay, because this is fun. The final product will be worth it. See, this is one of those times where if I was not streaming, what I probably would do, so I guess, if you're watching and you're going to go back and rewatch this and do as I do, the thing that I would do different is I would prime the miniature in Mechanicus Standard Gray as opposed to what I'm doing now. That's the one big difference I would do. Seems like now I think I'm gonna just go to my biggest brush because it'll go quicker. The Psycho Paintbrush by Army Painter. I don't know what that is. Let me look it up. Psycho paintbrush. Psycho paintbrush. Oh, because it's the super 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 tiny one. Um, I guess it depends on your level of painting. Um, I think if you are new to painting, I wouldn't worry about getting details that small for the need to have one of those. Um, for me personally, a zero brush will do 90% of the work. I don't I don't switch brushes very often. I have four different brushes, but honestly, like once I start using a brush while painting, very rarely do I switch around. I don't usually switch around very much, like I said. Oh boy. The other problem, and I say problem as in like it's like a minor problem. Overall, I think it's fine. The mini size makes it difficult to see because there's so much bulk. Like the armor legs are just really beefy, so it casts a shadow. So I'm trying to get like the outside's fine, but like when I'm trying to get in here in between the legs, like it's just creating shadows. So I'm having to like constantly move the miniature around to make sure I'm getting where I want. This is an interesting model. It's awesome. It's awesome. Um, yeah, I don't know the full like I have like I know where the character comes from and stuff. I don't really remember the circumstances behind it, but um, it's very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, getting this base coat on is gonna be ugh. This right here. This is why I don't prime stuff in black. Because painting over black is not fun. Unless you're doing what I was originally going to do. Until 5 minutes ago when I completely and utterly changed the plan. Right here, live in front of your eyes. What color was that? Oh, Mechanicus. I need to put more on my palette. Technically, she is the Yellow Ranger. If you look close enough, that's her face. Oh boy, Louie, what have you gotten yourself into, my friend? You're in it now, buddy. You are in it now. Let's see. So this goes here. And this panel? Is it just these two? Must just be these two. I don't know if I should keep going down. I think the intention is that you don't. It's just those two panels. Okay. Now you're intrigued. I'm sure someone else in the chat can answer better than I can. But from the way that I understand it, is the dragon, like the black dragon Zord, I think is like Lord Dracon's, which is, evil Tommy. That's like his shtick. That's like his dude. And this is clearly Trini in that armor. Now, I don't know how she got it or why, but that's about as much as I can tell you right there. It's like, yet there's some really tight spaces in here. I'm trying not to like mess up what I've already done, but that might be not possible at this point. Just kind of going back over my Mechanicus standard gray. There you go. What Atomic G said. Now, in this photo that I'm using, I can't see the back. So I can't see the whole tail. I can see a little bit of the tail, but I can't see all of it. So I am making some executive decisions here. And if anyone has actually played this game that this design came from, you know, and knows what the back of the character looks like. And if this is not it, oh well. Tough luck, because this is what I'm doing. Tough luck. Da, 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 da. The evil pink ranger that you're referring to is Ranger Slayer, which is in that alternate universe that G is referring to. Is kind of like Dracon's, aka Evil Tommy's, like sidekick. But I think eventually she turns good as well and helps the real Rangers from our universe defeat Tommy. Because there's multiple, you know, just like anything these days, there's this multiverse all controlled by this morphin grid. Yeah, so spoiler alert for anybody, because I do know some of the story. Um, and that's that Tommy, the from that universe, kind of has this belief that Zordon, really all of them, Rita, everyone, was just holding back the potential that the Rangers could have, and that they should have controlled humanity versus, you know, he wanted them to be like gods. And so he went universe to universe, recruiting ones that he could, and killing the ones that wouldn't join him. And then, yeah, everything else, you know, the Black Dragon was his Zord. I guess they destroyed it, turned it into armor, as G said. Because it looks cool. And then this video game, it's a playable character, the thing that I'm looking at. And I have played the game before. I'm sitting here acting like I don't know what I'm looking at. I do know what game it is. It's like a fighting game. Power of the Grid. Rangers of the Grid. Something Grid. It's all Grid. Alright, is that all? it's going to be silver. I feel like it's not enough. Battle for the Grid. There we go. Thank you, chat. Battle for the Grid is the name of the game that I am using reference photos of. And this just, what I'm looking at must just be like an alternate skin. Where the dragon armor is portrayed like the Green Dragon Zord. And I'm like, ooh, I need to paint mine to look like that. His fists are weird. Like the underside of his arm, like his hand, the inside of his hand. So painting the inside of something's hand a different color when their hand is closed makes things challenging. I guess nobody's going to look underneath there, huh? Oh. Oh, oh, oh. There we go. There we go, there we go. Alright. Well, that wasn't too bad. I do need to go around and touch up a few spots, but it wasn't as bad. Once I switched to the larger brush, it wasn't as bad as... I thought it was going to take me like an hour just to do the dang tail. It wasn't too bad. Although, I did quite a light layer. I might have to do a whole nother second coat. Yeah, that'll be alright. Because I'm going to lighten it up from here anyway. Alright, time for green, I think. And we gotta go with green. It's gonna have to be Warpstone Glow, which means a lot of coats, but honestly, that's the best option here, I think. And we can always come back to that Mechanicus Standard Gray. Now we've highlighted that. So here's Warpstone Glow from Citadel. It seems to be everybody, for the most part, it seems to be everybody's go-to for their Green Rangers. I feel the same. Although, fun fact, when I first started painting Power Rangers, I didn't own Warpstone Glow, and I didn't know that that was kind of like the color that everybody had kind of deemed, the best color to use. And so the first Green Ranger that I painted, um, the original Tommy, I didn't use Warpstone Glow at all. Completely different color scheme, or a completely different shade of green. Since then, I've mostly used Warpstone Glow because I do agree it is um, a very good color for a Green Ranger. But it is not by any means an easy color to paint with. It's very translucent. So it requires multiple coats and patience. Because when you first put it on, in my opinion, it looks bad. But then after you layer it on a bunch, again, this is just my experience with the color. I think I need to switch to a smaller brush now. Kind of doing a little more delicate details. Which brush should I use? This one? What is this? One? Switching over to a number 1 brush, in case anyone out there is keeping track of what brushes I'm using. Right now I'm just worried about like filling the color in. I can brighten it up and make it smoother later. At the moment, my favorite brand of brushes are Raphael brushes. Specifically the 8404 series. However, I will admit that they are pricey, and in the US, they are challenging to get unless you pay. However, I say that, but if you take care of your brushes, which I don't even do that great of a job taking care of my brushes, they will last you a very long time. Many, many minis you will get out of them. So in my opinion, they are worth the price tag. But if you can't afford or don't want to pay a high price tag, something a little more affordable. Well, next I would say, like, okay, let's say you want to buy expensive brushes, but you don't want to have to worry about, ordering from the UK, which seems to be the most reliable way that I've found to get these brushes. Winsor Newtons are also Series 7 brushes. I didn't get that. Could you try again? I don't know why she's talking. That was Siri. It's like I clearly was not talking to you. What was I saying? Dang it, Siri. You freaking interrupted me, and now I can't remember what I was saying. Winsor Newton. They're like Old Faithful, right? I mean, they're great brushes as well. And still pricey, but significantly easier to get. You can get those right on Amazon. The Army Painter brushes are fine. I don't have a problem with those. They would probably be, the lower end of what I would get. Citadel brushes, in my experience, are not good and not worth their price tag at all. I would rather use craft store brushes. I do have some, and I have used them from time to time, but I cannot give them my seal of approval. If you're in a store and you see Citadel brushes and you see Army Painter brushes, I think the Army Painter brushes will be better. Such a tough color to paint with. It's so streaky. Oh, man. Let's see what else on here. I highly recommend, for those out there that enjoy Citadel paints, I highly recommend their painting app. The Citadel painting app is so nice because you can log your paint collection, and you can also make like a wish list. So when you go to the store, you don't forget, which paints you need, like I do. And I use the app. So, yeah. I don't know if I should paint this part here green. In the video, this is actually open. Like, there's nothing right here. We can come back to that. I need more Warpstone glow on my palette. I don't think that the Mechanicus Standard Gray is going to be the final color that I stick with. I think I'm going to highlight out of that color. It's fine for a base. I just don't think I like it. I don't like it like that. Yeah, there's a strong possibility this weekend that I may get to play a game or two of Heroes of the Grid. And if I do, I will be calling dibs on this character because it's awesome. I was looking at my minis today actually because I'm like been trying to like clean up and get ready for company that I have coming, and I was actually looking at my Power Ranger minis and trying to. I just like the game so much, you know, and I was like looking at what was painted, trying to decide like what would be like good team ups of stuff that was painted. And I completely forgot about Bulk and Skull, and I really want to play a game where, um, Bulk and Skull are both being played. Because I just think that's super fun. The mini is coming off of the base because I'm handling it too much. I'm telling you, it's this stupid color. I don't know what it is with this color. It looks so cool, but dang it, it's not easy to paint with. Man, my poor dogs are still barking. I say my poor dogs. It's really my poor neighbors, but I feel like my dogs bark when they're anxious. So if they're still barking, I just don't like that. But nobody else is in the house, so. And I ain't going up there. How about anybody else in the chat? What do other people prefer as far as brushes? How do people feel about brushes? Like for me and my painting style, brushes are like the one thing I would say. Brushes and core colors, I would say. Core paint colors. I am going to be okay paying premiums for those. I value, as a painter, I value the quality of my paintbrush. But other people don't. You know, they're perfectly fine using the 99-cent brushes at Michael's or whatever local craft store. And that works for them, and that's totally, totally fine. But then they might come around and be like, but, I own every paint color that so and so has ever put out, whatever that might look like. So, it's interesting. Okay, continuing green. Let's go here. So I think I have determined that this mini is not going to get finished on this stream. This is going to have to be a two-parter. It's just a massive, massive miniature. Like, the panels on each piece are just, like, look at my hands. Like, this is just a beast of a miniature. And I want to do it right, you know? Especially now with this alternate color scheme that we're doing. Because, like, these greens are going to need several coats. Yeah, the green and yellow is cool. And then there's going to be gold trim, too. Right now, I'm just focusing on trying to get the base colors in. Because what I may end up doing is a wash, maybe. I might do a wash on the armor, and I'm definitely gonna want to do a wash like between these two pieces here, to kind of fill in that gap. Let's see, what else is green? This is green over here. But I agree, the green and yellow is very cool. Like I said, this was not the plan. The plan was just to do black armor. Like, the armor was going to be all black, and we were basically just going to highlight the black. And then we discovered this alternate, this alt skin for this character in the game, and it just looked too cool to not try. They're still just up there barking away. looking around it looks like there's a piece on in the video game. There's like another piece right here that's not there on the mini. So we're gonna just gonna ignore it. So the only other green that I see is here in the tail. So let's knock that out. It's gonna be fun. Although this is cool too if I did this. I actually think the little circles are probably supposed to be red as opposed to green. But I like the greens. I think I'm gonna keep it. Okay, just a couple little touch-ups on the green, and then we'll get out the gold. Man, I can even see a super cool, like, almost like a Godzilla style, like, base where there's just like rubble and debris like all over the ground. That's it's kind of my vision. Mad respect to the Black Dragon Zord. But Green Dragon. Green Dragon is where it's at. All right. Let's grab some gold. I also don't have to do gold. I could do. What do you guys think? Gold or yellow? I think it's got to be gold, right? Oh, you know what? I just noticed on the mini, or on the picture, that the black around the jaw is not black. It's not black. It's the same gray as the tail and stuff. I'm gonna take this off the base because I'm gonna have to fix that in a minute. Which I also like better than the original design. How to pull it up to my face. All right. Impossible to do that under these lights. Because it's just creating so much shadow because of, again, how bulky the miniature is. Okay. All right. Let's fix this guy on this thing. All right. So gold, I think we'll go Retributor armor. And there went my camera. The face camera, not the other one. Sorry, I'm trying to get that. I am here. See? See my little hand? Oh, there it is. Okay. That's weird. It just like disconnected. Alright, Retributor armor. Goes on the pallet. And now we pick out things that we want to be gold. Already gonna have to redo some of the green. Gosh darn it. Green is very quickly becoming my least favorite color to paint with. It used to be gold, but I think I'm over the gold now. Really, the only reason that gold was... I just screwed up there, too. The only reason that gold was at the bottom of my list of favorite things to paint with is because I used to have to paint so much of it, because I played Stormcast Eternals in Age of Sigmar, and they are all gold. Like, their whole armor is all gold. They're gold shiny boys. And metallic spray paints, hobby spray paints, like Citadel's gold spray paint. Very expensive. Like, I think they're up to like maybe like $30 per can now. Like astronomical prices. So at the time I was like, yeah, I'm gonna paint them all by hand. Which if I decided to play that again and play that army again, and I wanted to paint more because I still have some, I wanted to paint more, I would just pay the money and get the spray paint. It's when you are army painting like that, when you are painting full-blown armies, you are doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion, not priming them in their primary color. Because holy guacamole. See, like, I can't even, like, position this miniature to get to space. Get to a space where I can comfortably get to what I'm trying to paint. They are still barking. What the heck is going on up there? So there's one shoulder piece done. I say done. It obviously looks terrible. So please don't judge. These are the hardest parts, the shoulders. The other gold accents are quite minute, quite small. Yeah, I'm glad I decided to go with gold instead of yellow. Because then you don't want the yellow. You want Trini's helmet to still pop out. You know what I mean? You want it to be obvious that it's Trini. I think that's one of the reasons why keeping it cool looks, or keeping it black looks cool. Because the black and yellow contrast just looks great. But I had to go and be a rebel. I can't be the only one who's done this, so I will. I'm excited to go stalk the Facebook groups and see who else has done this, because I can't be the only one who thought of this one. Because again, I didn't even think of it. It was a live decision. Man, this is such a cool miniature, you guys. Oh man, it's so cool. Okay, that looks super cool. I'm gonna have to put some more green like in those slots, but holy crap, that looks cool. And I'm just gonna leave those open black like that, because again, in the actual like character, these like are what I have painted are like flaps, and this space here is hollow. Like there's nothing there that's like one flap and two flap. They're like completely separate pieces. Um, but for solid plastic miniature, this, obviously this is how they had to do it. But the ring in the middle is gold. The core in the middle is not gold, but the ring around it is gold. So the best way to paint that is just to paint the whole thing gold and then fill in the stuff later. That's when you fill in the stuff. Okay. Cool. What else is gold? These panels on the side. Over here, like where this gem is. I say gem, it's obviously not a gem. It's like some kind of energy something. Maybe it's just the light. It's probably just the light. Ignore what I just said, because that's dumb. Ignore that whole part there, folks. It's obviously just the light. Okay. Gold. What else is gold? These panels right here on the front. I think that's all that's gold. I think that is all. Oh, these aren't gold in the thing, but I'm going to paint them gold. You can't see, I can't see that on the miniature, so. So one of the bad things I'm realizing now as I'm doing this is the black parts of the armor how will I give them character, depth? You know what I mean? Like, instead of just being... I feel like I don't even know how to describe what I'm saying, what I mean. Oh man, that tail is jacked up. All that gray came out because of me, like, touching this. That's one of the bad things about that. Primer that I used. Okay. Well, we're going to call that done on the... I don't know. My ADHD is kicking in. So I'm struggling to make sense of what I'm doing and saying all at the same time. In case you can't tell, you're like, why? This guy doesn't make any sense. That's why. I'm just kind of highlighting back up some of that gray. I say highlighting. I'm kind of putting like a small reapply of the base layer because I have some smudges from the paint on the base. I have to remember that this black, I just use like a Rust-Oleum black primer, which is fine. I do it all the time. The one thing that you have to worry about is until you get those first layers of paint on, any of the paint that you touch from the spray can, at least in my experience with the black, maybe with white it wouldn't do it, but in my experience it like gets all over your hands and then you smudge it into the mini like I just did. Which is fine because eventually we're going to highlight all that stuff up anyway. I just want to make sure we get a nice coat there. I'll grab some black to fix some of the... You know what? No, we'll go to red next. So now there's a bunch of like red accents and stuff. So I'm going to grab Mephiston red. There it is. Stick with my same brush here. Two different options here with something like this. What I have, one way that you can do it, and I have done it before to great success, is anywhere that you're going to put this, this red for all these light bulbs, which is what we're calling them, all these lights, you paint them white, like a bright white, and then you put a red wash over them, or a red contrast paint, and it does a really nice job giving you like a glowy effect. And the reason that I decided not to do that this time is because I forgot. And now I'm committed to just painting them on. Which again is fine because I've also done it this way to great success. More lights on the arms. Mephiston red is a much darker red than I want these to be, because I do want to try and give them the appearance of like they're glowing. But this will be fine for the base coat. The eyes. The dragon has eyes apparently up here. Looks pretty darn cool, man. Not gonna lie. I'm kind of stoked. Kind of stoked. grab some black. Fix some of the blacky bits. I feel like maybe I need another tub of black too. I don't like to be low on that stuff, like the essentials, which includes lead belcher. I consider lead belcher to be an essential. I should make one of those. A Louie's Essentials. Because there are a few that I strongly believe in. So I think the moral of the story for this stream is paint your minis how you want. You know, try not to be intimidated by you know, trying things that are not necessarily the box art. You could come up with your own custom colors to put. And you could put them in the same spots that I put these colors. You could also put them somewhere completely different. Just reapplying black, trying to cover up some of the mistakes we made along the way. It's cool. All right, right now, the current state. Oh, nope. Stand by. I just remembered something that I wanted to paint black while I had the black out. Paint these little knobs here. Paint them black. This guy down here. I feel like our toys from the 90s there. I feel like they probably have little stickers you stuck inside those joint sockets to get them to look that color. All right. Dang it. I was like, okay, and now, twice, 2 times in a row I did that. And then I realized those same sockets are on the inside of the legs too, so we got to get those. It's going to be hard for you to see because it's hard for me to see. Okay. Now, I think I'm ready. All right, this is what I'm calling. I'm calling this tabletop standard. This is the part where, she is, clean up the base a little bit and she's ready for the table. It's a very cool mashup of black dragon and green dragon, which I think is super cool. Now what I'm going to do is, we're just gonna, as a matter of fact, let me take a picture of what it looks like right now. Let me take a picture. Okay. Although, there's this one little spot. Right here. Okay. I feel a little better about that. All right, now we can take a picture of what it looks like right now. Tabletop standard. She's ready. She's ready for games on the table. However, I like to go a little bit above and beyond that. So, hopefully I can convince the powers that be to let me paint this again in the next stream. Otherwise, I'll have to do this off camera and then post pictures in the Facebook group. So I'm going to take Nuln Oil. I don't recommend Nuln Oil for the gold, but because I'm trying to do this, in a decently timely manner, because I don't want to keep everybody for super long, I'm going to... I'm probably going to put the Nuln Oil just over the whole entire thing. And then I'll deal with it being on the gold later off. Like, it's not that serious. Let's just start on the tail. We're just going to cover the entire miniature with Nuln Oil. This is going to sit, and when we come back to it, we just highlight up, and it's going to be awesome. I love getting lost in a good miniature. It's just I don't have the time for it anymore, unfortunately, like I used to. Used to be like my favorite way to like, release that creative, you know, just to do something creative. Um, and for me, it was always just getting totally lost in a miniature, just becoming obsessed with it. You want it to be perfect. So yeah, keep going over it over and over and over again until you get something to look just the way you want, and you take your time. And for me, when I'm not like streaming, like the miniature is like in my face because I need to have the miniature as close to my face as possible. That's just how I paint. I probably put way too much on. That's okay. So much surface area. Holy moly. If you do it in the manner in which I'm doing it right now, make sure you put something um, underneath the miniature, unless you want your table or whatever, wherever you're painting, to be totally ruined. Because the way I'm doing this, like just splattering it on, it it does just that. It just splatters everywhere. Okay. And then once you think you have it all over, what I do is I just take my brush over the whole thing again real quick before it dries. And that's it. Now we let her dry. I think I got it everywhere. That's like the one thing is like you don't necessarily know if you got it everywhere. I think I did. I don't see any spots where it's not. Alright, and now, like I said, now we let it dry. It will not dry shiny like that. It will be matte. And, it would be ready for the next steps, which for me would be, in the event that I don't end up I don't end up live streaming the rest. For those curious, what I would then do is I would probably go over the Mechanicus Standard Gray a little bit, maybe. No, I don't think I would. Honestly, I would just start like going down your grayscale, lighter and lighter colors. I don't know if you need this color. This might be too extreme. That's your highlights. So maybe like a Dawnstone. Yeah, because this, look how, that almost looks white. Yeah. I would do that on your gray parts. And on your black parts, I would use something like German gray, which is light enough difference for black. Maybe even go up to an Eschen gray as your main highlight. So something like that on your black. So this be your main highlight, this be your extreme highlight. That would go on the black. And then on the gray, what did we do? We did Mechanicus Standard, which is apparently has ran off. Oh, there it is. So here was your base for the legs. So maybe something like a Dawnstone as your main color, and then this as your extreme highlight. And then this be black. Those might not be different enough. Yeah, they should be. This and this should be different enough. Because, like, it's this and black, right? So, I'm talking now about, like, the difference between the black and the gray. Because black and gray can be difficult to highlight. And we want to make sure on the miniature that we get the distinct difference between what's gray and what's black. Because it's almost like they're two different Zords coming together, the black dragon and the green dragon. So this is the black, this is the gray. This is the black armor, this is part of the green armor. And then our next color would be this German gray, which on camera probably doesn't look super different. But in practice it is. With Dawnstone probably being or Eschen gray. Did I say Eschen gray? I said Eschen gray. So you'd have something like this. This is your black armor. So your black. This is your main color. Your main color is in the middle. So here's your shading, your main color, and your extreme highlight. So we've already done the shading by painting the whole thing black. So we don't need to do that step. So this will be our main color. So we'll paint over the main flat surface panels with this, and then use this as our extreme highlight. And then on the legs, this was our base, so we don't need to do that anymore. Dawnstone, nope, that's not it. Dawnstone will be our main color. So this will be the main color. We don't have to do this one anymore. And then Administratum Gray will be our highlight. So I hope that that makes sense. That's how I kind of do things. Um, Obviously that's a Citadel thing, doing like the tricolors. A lot more companies are doing it now. I just kind of made my own tricolors there. So my black armor and my legs, and that should work. That's the plan that I would do going forward. Um, and then your greens and your golds, you just reapply those to bring the color forward, and then maybe you do an extreme highlight. Um, but really, your focus is going to be on, um, the focus is going to be on the armor anyway. So, yeah, cool. Well, I hope that you guys and gals, you renegades, enjoyed this. This was a very fun mini. I did think that I would get it done, but now I see, soaking up some of that shade there, that how girthy this miniature is. So it's definitely going to need at least one more session. Um, and yeah, if I don't end up doing that through Renegade stream, then I'll still make sure to take pictures and try and make a tutorial for you guys. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Make sure that you take care of yourself, take care of each other, play your games, paint your miniatures, and I'll see you